And welcome to Figure Skating Talk number 4. I am sorry about Rust Telecom Cup. I actually filmed the video, but I had some issues uploading it, so I just at some point I just decided it was meh, and I deleted the video, so whatever. But it's fine, it's all okay. I'm gonna touch a little bit upon Rust Telecom Cup probably at some point, because of the user stuff. But let's start with a short recap of IdF. It's been a while, and I really want to talk about the finals and everything going into the finals and my predictions for that competition, so quickly with IdF. Firstly with IdF, this was the first time I watched it with more than one other person. I think it's the first time I've been had so many different opinions of with the people I was watching with. But for the men's competition, we had an overwhelming favorite in Jason Brown, all three of us. For one of the people I was watching it, Jason Brown is their favorite skater, or at least one of them. So it was really nice to have that how can you say overwhelming support of one skater that you all really like. Not that we didn't like anyone else, but it was really nice to have this sort of atmosphere, because even with the men's here, my favorite skater is Boyang Jin. He's one of my favorite all-time skaters, but obviously he's not having a good time right now. But it was really fun just to watch it with these kind of people. But it did take or give me some sort of another kind of insight, just because I was watching with people with varying opinions. But let's start with Jason Brown, because he did really, really well this weekend, or previous weekend. Having him win the short program with an absolutely flawless program was just amazing to watch. His Love is a Bitch program has been one of my favorites this season, just even before this competition, because he skated it clean or near clean a couple of times. And it's just his interpretation, and it's just a well-crafted short program. And then seeing him really take the competition with us, it was just a great experience. I watched that program so many times now, just that one performance. It's so good. I'm really, really happy for him. And with the free skate as well. The free skate for me was really magical, because I have not liked his free skate. We saw it at the Autumn Classics, and I was like, well, this is really weird, and I miss his previous programs, and it doesn't have that magical Jason Brown feeling to it. But then I listened to a couple of people talking about it, and apparently the program looks better. It had looked better. So I was holding out, because it's Jason Brown. He has a way of making everything just feel magical. And then we saw it again at Skate Canada, and he did much better, but it still didn't feel like anything to me. It was just I didn't get the music, I don't understand the choreography, I didn't get the program. And then this competition, something happened for me. I don't know if anything has changed, because I haven't gone back to watch his previous performances of this, but something happened. This program just came alive to me, and it was so good. It was just, I can't explain how I felt watching that, especially because I knew it. I was really nervous, because he was the last skater, and I knew he had really good medal chances. He couldn't beat Nathan at that point. And I don't think anyone ever expected him to, even with the 10-point lead he had. But his bid for second place was so good, and he came through. It was an absolutely magical moment, and I watched it a couple of times, and it's still just as magical. I can't even, Jason Brown is just such a good performer, and his triple axel looks better. He looks more confident with it, I feel like. Obviously he took out the quad, which I think was a really smart move, because he didn't need the quad. There was no way he was gonna, without the quad he could stay in second place or get the silver medal, but with the quad, even then, he would have no chance of beating Nathan. So it was a really smart move, just to not disrupt the performance. It was really, really good. For Nathan, I still adore his short program. I think his short program is so much fun. It helps with the disappointing of his programs last season, because I had so much hope for Nemesis. Is that what's it called? Nemesis? I should know, because I have the soundtrack on my phone. It was a really good music choice. But it just kind of it peaked in the Grand Prix series, not even in the finals, just in the Grand Prix series. I feel like his best performance of that program was at Skate America last year, and then it just it stopped working for me, and Mao's Last Dancer was just never an interesting program. But this year, I just really, really enjoy his Caravan. It's really good, it's really fun, and it's finally showing the performer that he can be. I fell in love with Nathan at Four Continents in 2017, and he had such good promise. And I just like the Olympic season just was such a letdown for me in terms of programs, and this season it's really coming back. So I'm really happy. His Land of All is still a little empty. It's not as empty as Mouse Last Dancer, but I feel like he's getting there, and I understand that he has a really hard coaching situation right now, and it's for what he's working with. I think he's doing really really great, and you can definitely see a lot of the pressures off of him. So I just hope we continue going in that direction with Nathan, and he could quickly like come back to be one of my faves, because I really really like him. I think he has so much potential, but it was kind of like staggering and going a little backwards last season. So I have high hopes for him this time. Alexander Samarin. Personally, again, I think he's a just tiny bit overscored. I don't think he should have hit the 19 point in the show program, but I think overall his standing is correct. So it's fine. I'm personally not a big fan of his programs. I think they're a little forced, just interpretation, choreography wise, but I think he has a lot of room for improvement. I think he has a solid foundation when it comes to just like skating and jumping, but there are lots of little issues that I have that I love to see him work on. But he's young; he can still he can work through those. And I think like winning events is definitely gonna give him the push, because then it's like, or not winning events, but like getting medals and stuff, because then it's like he can tweak those little things and then he can start winning the events. So I think that's really great. There's a lot of potential there. He needs to like fully realize that potential. For the people who didn't podium, big shout out to the French guys, especially Kevin Amos. I've talked about him before, but I just really really like him. He's such a good interpreter. He's such a good performer. He has solid jumps, especially for his triples, and the quads that he have look really great, especially when he lands them. And he has such good body control. It's magical, especially when he puts everything together. His free skate especially is just, I can't even describe like because it's not magical in the sense of Jason Brown, but it's like every like movement he has is just, it hits you with a new feeling, and it's so so good. And the short program is just a lot of fun. It's speedy, it's energetic, it's just a good contrast between the good programs as well, because you see the very fast-paced program in the short, and then you see this more beautiful thing in the free skate, just showing that he can do a lot of different things. And Romain Ponsois, I don't know how to pronounce French names. He was really surprising to me as well, because I don't know much about him. He's one of those skaters where I know him by name, and every time I see him, I always forget like 1 week after. But this competition, I felt like he was really really good, and he really surprised me. Now for more or less the rest of them, which are a lot of my favorites. Dima, again, a short program that just, I said this before, it has to be skated clean before it's really good, and it wasn't. It was not clean. Had a little comeback in the free skate, which he won, not over Nathan, but like second place in the free skate. So that was great. I really wanted him on the podium, but can't get everything. But I want to see him clean. The problem with the Russian men at the moment is that the two that I really like, Dima and Misha, they have an issue with, I think like it's mostly mental, because they have all the foundations. They have the skating skills, they have those jumps, they have like the technical and the artistic, and they just need to put it together. But yeah, I hope that Russian nationals will be good for those two, because there is a little bit less pressure. Because the I wouldn't say the battle for gold is just between them. There are a lot of other good Russian men, like Alexander Samarin has really surprised this season. And probably other Russian men that I'm forgetting. Sergei Voronov. But just, there would be less pressure on them, I think. Maybe. If I remember correctly, they do have 3 spots for Worlds, and so they should be fine, I think. Dennis Vasiliev is still another fave of mine. I just wanted him to see him put together 2 clean programs. He was so close to a podium finish at Europeans last season, so I'm hoping we can see that again. But you never know. Keiji Tanaka, again, just inconsistency. I'm not going to talk too much about him, because I think I've talked more or less what I want to talk about Keiji last time we saw him. Boyang Jin, my baby. I really like his short program. His free skate, I'm not entirely sold on it. Like, my thing with his free skate is that I can see that it's a really good program for him, and I know it's gonna be really good. But he has so many mistakes every time he skates it that it's so hard for me to like really connect with it. So I'm hoping that we'll see it clean. Now I know he has an injury, which when I found that out like a couple of days after IdF, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense that he has an injury because he has not been able to do any of his jumps lately. So I'm hoping that he'll take the time to rest. He doesn't need Chinese nationals because there's no one on his level. And then he can come back before continents and defend his title, hopefully. Because there's a good chance Yuzu won't be there. Nathan is still like a gray area for me, and then there's Shoma, who's just doomed for eternal silver. So I think that's gonna be it for my I've talked for 10 minutes. Ladies, I'm gonna make this a little shorter. Now for ladies, I'm gonna start with Evgenia Medvedeva. Obviously really sad to not see her on the podium, but it's very understandable with where she's at and the approach she's taking to skating at the moment. Because you see it all the time in her practice. Like, if you've seen her free skate in like practice sessions, it looks so good, and then she's not able to do that in the competition, and it's just, she said this many times, it's all mental, it's all in her head. And she said before that she always got nervous before competitions, but I don't think it's ever been to the same extent as it is now, because there's so much like negativity around her, coming from all sides, and she's like, she has a really good community. Her fans are really, they try to be there for her, but it's hard when like all the good comments are also mixed in with all the negativity. And I know in Russia, it's just Russian media is just not nice to her at the moment. So I hope she's good at cutting off that stuff and just focusing on herself. But we know it's going to be a while, because Brian Osher says this every time with a new student. It's going to take 1.5 years because there's adjusting period. And she even said it herself in the press conference that like she can feel it's going to take a full year for her to really adjust just to the, like, to changing her home location from Russia to Canada. Because it's a big mental change, just not even thinking about the skating. And has to rework all her jumps, and I mean, it looks so great in practice, and she just needs to put it together. Because her double axel is so good. Her axel has always been like, meh. It's never been like bad, but it's just never been good. And now it's great when she lands it. But she just doesn't half of the time. Which is really sad, because she just, God, really look up her practice sessions, they're so good. Going again off not the podium, Marin Honda, I still really like her. She's such a sweetheart, isn't she? I really like her programs this year. They're fun, they're charming, I think is a really good word for it. And she's just a charming person. She's really just the kind of person where, like, she smiles and you smile. She's just so cute. She just moved to RAF, so again he has as he says a two-year period where it's like up in the air whether or not you'll be good or not. So we'll see. I know she really wants to make it to the Olympics next time, because she really wanted to do it this year or previous season. But with only 2 spots and people like Sadako, Wakaba, and Kaori, which I don't think it was ever gonna happen. But I think we're gonna see great things from Marin Honda if she continues on this path. But yeah, I really enjoyed her even with the mistakes. Maria Satskova, just briefly, just sad to not see her nowhere near the podium. Just gonna ignore the rest just to make this a little shorter. Brady Tennell. I think I've said this before, I enjoy her programs much more this season than I did last season. And I've seen a couple, or listened to a couple of interviews with her. She's a really genuinely nice person. And I think last season I was not rooting for her at all. I really thought she should not have won US Nationals. I thought Mirai Nagashi should have gotten that. But this season I'm really rooting for her. I don't think there's a US lady who really compares to her. Because Mariah Bell is definitely better artistically, but I think Brady Tennell definitely has the better technical elements, and she's just usually better at being consistent with them, even though, it's not always going that well. I don't think she should do the triple Lutz triple loop this season, just because I know she has a focus on her performing abilities, and I think the fact that she also introducing a new technical element is not doing her well, especially because she tends to make so many mistakes on that element, because when she jumps the Lutz, she usually ends up on an arc that's either too narrow or too wide, and if the landing of your jump is just a little bit off, you can't put the triple loop on it. So I personally think she shouldn't do that element, but I understand that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. But because we're so far from the next Olympics, I think she should just take it one step at a time, because she's definitely, she's technically strong, so she has a long career, and because we know that she has made such a huge stride in the artistic and just her performing ability, just within these last 6 months, I think she should take it one step at a time, because she definitely has a longer career ahead of her. But I'm sure she knows what she's doing. Mai Mihara. I really like Mai Mihara. I've always been like with Mai Mihara. She's never at any point in her career been my favorite Japanese girl, but she's always been like in the top 3. Cause I really enjoy her, but well, I don't know if there's a but. My but would be I like someone else more. But this season she could really come through for me, cause I don't know, there's something about her this season that seems freer. I don't know, I feel like last season for me she felt a little more tense than she did the previous season, or at least in Four Continents 2017 where she won. But yeah, she's adorable, and I'm really happy to see her. It was really sad that she wasn't on the podium in NHK because she did so well. But her reaction in the kiss and cry in the free skate, it was really good. Rika Kihara, really happy that she won actually, because I thought that the pressure after having won NHK was going to be a lot for her, but she's found some confidence in herself that I don't think she's really showed before. So that makes me really happy. She still had a couple of mistakes. It wasn't quite as flawless as an NHK, but it was still really, really good. I still think she's way underscored in the presentation, like at to the point where I feel annoyed. And I usually don't, because obviously you could make an argument for Senya being a little overscored and Marin Honda, Mai Mihara having a couple of mistakes not being called, but overall the standings are fine, I think. Yeah, I think that's it for my ladies. Overall, I think the podiums for both the men and the women were right, even if a lot of my favorites did not get to where I wanted them to. Now let's go to the finals. Let's start talking about the women, actually, because I think I have less to say there. Where can I? There you are. Right. So for the ladies, it's gonna be really long. Just bear with me here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk about all 6 qualifiers, just what I think about them, and then after I've talked about them, I'm gonna do my predictions. So let's start with the first qualifier for the ladies, Alina Zagitova. Alina has looked a little shaky this season, but she also did in the last Grand Prix series, and she ended up on top. So I'm not worried that much for her. But on the other hand, she's a bit of a wild card, especially in the short program. Her short program has always been her nemesis for some reason. But I really enjoy her free skate. I am hoping to see the standard we saw at Nebelhorn, because again, I've said this many times before. So far, my favorite showing of hers has been at Nebelhorn, where her Carmen free skate just really blew me away. It was not something I was expecting from her, especially after hearing she was going to do Carmen, because it really disappointed me. What I did like, though, is that I found out that she had chosen Carmen, that she really pushed for this, and that she had watched like her favorite programs of Carmen. It was just something she really wanted to do, and I think that's great that they let her choose herself. Because it's always better if the skater has a certain connection to the program, and I think that's what's coming through in her Carmen, is that she's showing us something that she wanted to show us. It feels different, and it makes me very, very happy, because it's Alina Zagitova, Olympic champion, and a lot of people have had issues with her previous programs, not just because they were so backloaded, but just because they felt a little stilted. And I had the same issues. I felt it was a little hard to connect with. Like, when she went clean and when she really did her best, her programs were really good. Like, I especially enjoyed her Black Swan, actually. And I think her Black Swan is still probably my favorite program of hers. But her Carmen was just sometimes, depending on the day she was performing it on, it sometimes felt stiff to me, especially in Milan, but I mean, obvious. But this season, I enjoy her free skate, and the shop program, I mean, even with the bad music cuts, I think she makes the best of it, honestly. And she's so good technically. I can kind of forgive her for the few errors she has, and she's still very young, and she definitely has a lot of potential. And I just hope she can sustain that, because we know the reputation of the Terry girls, and I would really love for Alina to be able to go on, because she has talked about wanting to have a long career like Carolina Kostner. And I just think that it would be really sad if we saw her not get what she wanted, like, with a long career. I'm not saying she has to win everything along the way, but I'd definitely love to see her, like, grow over more years and to see her mature, because I think she has so much potential that she still hasn't realized. Second qualifier, Rika Kihira. I'm gonna be very short with this, just because I've talked about her already at IdF. But Rika Kihira and Alina Sigitova are definitely the contenders for gold, I think, realistically. Rika Kihira, for me, if she skates clean, she has this competition. And I think like, if Rika Kihira skates clean and she doesn't win, I honestly think that would be just not. But it has to be both in the short and the free skate. And she hasn't done that yet, so. But Rika she's great. She has everything. She's the full package, and I'm sure she can improve, but it's like there's so little to work on with her. I feel like it's crazy. I know she's talked about quads, and she could definitely, like, there's definitely, like, a little bit, like, just basic skating that she could up. Like, she could have more varied moves and stuff, but God, she's just so naturally talented with jumps and everything. It's just great. Satoko Miyahara, another great skater, just absolutely wonderful. I'm gonna be honest, I think her short program this season is my favorite program I've seen from her ever. There is something about it that just touches my heart in a way that she's never done that before, and she's always been enjoyable. Like, for me, Satoko has always been enjoyable to watch, but I don't like her jumps. This season, her jumps look great. They still don't have the height and length that I really enjoy seeing in jumps, but they definitely look better. It's like her picking technique is better, and her takeoff technique is better. It's just, there's something better about her takeoffs. I think they're probably less pre-rotated, and as a result, the under rotations are really rare for her at the moment. And they just, like, they look so much better. And I think she is getting a little more height. And I think it is because she's working on, like, gaining more muscle, and she's worked with jump experts over the summer. It looks much better. I've never enjoyed her jumps as I do this season. And I think that really helps the overall impression of the program, especially in a free skate where there are 7 jump passes. So she's really, really enjoyable for me this season. Like, much more than she ever was. And Satoko Miyahara has always been a good skater. Like, I've never hated her. I've never been like, it's always been like, ooh, Satoko Miyahara is really good. But there's always been one skater that I've liked more. And in this season, it's probably going to be Rika Kihara. But Sadako just is a much more mature skater. And you can really see that. And with her jumps having become so much better, it just, she could get really, really close to the top as well. Like, if Alina and Rika make mistakes and Sadako goes in completely clean, I don't see why not. I don't see why she shouldn't win. Elisabetta Tektomasheva. Oh my god, I love that girl. If you don't follow her on Twitter, you definitely should. She is super funny. For Elisabetta, I think we're gonna see something great for her, because there isn't a lot of pressure on her. She didn't expect to get into the finals, and now that she's here, she's literally, she keeps making jokes about literally finishing in last place. And I think she's feeling that there isn't a lot of pressure, because she's up against Alina Sigitova, she's up against 3 great Japanese girls, and she's up against, like, this new Russian girl star, Sofia Samozharova. And sure, she's the fourth qualifier, but I feel like there isn't much pressure on her. Like, a lot of people aren't expecting much of her because she doesn't have the strongest like skating skills. She doesn't have the strongest transitions. She's like not number one in anything. Like, even her triple axel is completely overshone by Riki Kihira. But she has such a different style that I think it's gonna be really refreshing to see her, cause other than Sofia Samodorova, I'd say the three other skaters have this very elegant beauty around them. Now, Alina Zagidova's programs are a little different, but they still, like, if you take her Phantom of the Opera, it's very pretty. Like, even her costume is just very, very pretty. And Elisaveta and Sofia as well, they have this very different style that it's gonna be super refreshing to see. So I'm definitely rooting for her to do well, but I don't think we're gonna see her right at the top. But we're gonna get some more predictions by the end here. Kaori Sakamoto. I love her. Kaori Sakamoto is one of my favorite Japanese girls of all time. I watched her Helsinki free skate at one of my breaks in school, and I literally started crying. Kaori Sakamoto is just very, very special to me. She has, how do I say this? Kaori Sakamoto is kind of the Yuzuru Hanyu for me, just because she makes her jumps part of the performance in a way that I don't feel a lot of the other girls are currently doing. Her jumps are, like, especially her edge jumps, they're very, very smooth. They oftentimes comes from amazing transitions, and they're just very, very light. Like, they really feel like part of the program. And she works the music in just a really, really nice way. Like, I can't explain exactly how, but her interpretation levels are just, like, super high, and the fact that she hasn't gotten a 10 yet in interpretation is just outrageous to me. But I hope to see her on the podium, even though I've said, like, for every person basically that they have podium chances. Sofia Samodorova, she's the new girl for me. Even more so than Rika Kihara, because Rika Kihara I knew of, even though I don't watch juniors. It was, like, impossible to avoid Rika Kihara, because she was the girl who had the triple axel combination. And because I watch Fantasy and Ice, she's usually there to do her programs. Sofia Samodorova, though, I think her programs are so fun. The only issue I have with Sofia Samodorova is sometimes her jumps look very under-rotated. But it was mostly at Helsinki where the ice was bad, because she definitely looked much better at her second GP, so maybe it was just the ice issue there, because she looked fine as well in, was it the Autumn Classic? She was definitely at a Challenger where I remember seeing her. But I love her free skate especially. It's very fun and very different, and she brings a very a fun personality to the ice, because you can definitely see it's her first senior season. Unlike Rika, who just looks, she skates very maturely. Sofia has, like, the air of a new senior, but not in a way that makes her feel like a junior. I don't know where to place her. I think Sofia, unfortunately, is not gonna rank that highly, because she doesn't quite have the technical repertoire nor the presentation to really compete. But again, if she could skate clean and some of the other makes mistakes, you'd never know where anything could end up. However, my official prediction for the ladies, I'm gonna be bold here and say Rika Kihara for gold, Alina Zagidoeva for silver, and Sadako Miyahara for bronze. Although I would not personally be opposed to a Japanese sweep, but only because I really like those three girls. I think it'd be really funny to see Elizabeth on a podium just for the heck of it. But I think realistically, Kaori, Sadako, Rika, and Alina are way stronger skaters than she is. And she relies on mistakes to stay on top. And Satoko especially has really shown consistency this season. And Alina and Kaori have really only made a huge mistake at Helsinki where there were ice issues. So Rika is definitely the wild card. If she can put everything together, I'm so sure she's gonna win. I mean, otherwise the judges really have to hold her down. But I also think that just one mistake from Rika could really break her, because there's a different kind of pressure when you're at this level. So, we'll see what happens. But my podium would definitely be Rika, Alina, and Satoko. Yes, for the men, we're gonna start with Yuzu just because he withdrew. I'm glad he withdrew, first of all, because, you know, Canada is not like, unlike Russia, where it was really important for him to compete. It wouldn't be the same with Canada, because even though he has special connections there, he competes there every year just at the Autumn Classics. So I'm glad he withdrew, and he doesn't have anything, like, he doesn't have an important competition coming up other than Worlds. So good for him that he knows when to rest. And recovery time is much shorter than with the last injury, and I'm just basically, we're in a much better situation than last year, so rooting for him to get back on his feet, quite literally, and just skate lights out at Worlds, because we know he loves competing in Japan. So I'm looking forward to that. Shoma, who's now the top qualifier now that Yuzu isn't there, Shoma has had issues with his short program this series. He held the world record before Yuzu took it in Helsinki, and he just hasn't been he hasn't put it together since, what was it, not Double Horn, Lombardia Trophy. I hope he will, because I love his short program a lot. Like, the only issue that short program has is his quad flip, and it's not even like the quad flip itself, it's just the judges not being able to give it proper points. But Shoma has the strongest short program of this bunch for sure. And I really hope he can put it together. Because Shoma has probably the two strongest programs, like, both technically and artistically. And I hope he can show that. Because Shoma hasn't won a single major competition yet, which is weird for someone who is literally ranked number 1 in the world. So, you know, I really hope we get to see the best of Shoma, and I want to see him skate a flawless free skate, just because the free skate for me hasn't hit that magical moment yet, and I've yet to see a Shoma free skate that I did not like, and it's not like I don't like his Moonlight Sonata, but it hasn't hit the Shoma standard that I'm used to, and I think when he skates it clean, or at least cleaner than he's been able to, we can really see what this program holds. Third or second qualifier, I guess, Nathan Chen. I talked about him at IdF, so I'm just gonna briefly say that gold is between him and Shoma. There's no other way around it. There's no one who's, like, none of the other 4 are even near their level. I think Shoma's chances actually depend more on Nathan than himself, just because Shoma is more consistent. And Nathan just is in a weird ass place. Yale finals are getting closer. I'm not entirely sure how he's gonna balance all of this, but I trust him. He's looked really confident this Grand Prix series, so we'll see what happens. But I doubt we're gonna see those two in anything other than gold and silver. If that really happens, one of them has to have a great disaster. Third qualifier, Michael Brasina. Hasn't he been a surprise this season? God damn. I don't even know what to say. I really love his short program. Him and basically the next 4, the rest of them I'm going to talk about, they're all such wild cards, because skate clean, they could all get to bronze, but make a mistake, and it's just a wild card as to where they'll end up. But I really want him to do well, actually. I like having people who speak for longevity in the skating career. And he has such a, I want to say it's a relaxed style, but it's definitely different, because it's not elegant. Like, it's not, let's say, O'Donnell elegant, but it's also not the kind of, like, powerful program, or style, not program, because he could do powerful programs, but it's just the style of it is more serene. Don't know if that's the right word. But I definitely want him to do well, but he's not my contender for bronze. Sergei Voronov, again, my thing with Sergei is that he's consistent, but he doesn't have the highest technical content, and he's also just, generally underscored. So it's a big question mark as to where he'll end up. I've said this before, he's not my favorite skater. I don't really connect with his skating, but that doesn't mean that he can't do something, like, really, really great. And he's definitely, like, he has a chance at the podium. Going into the finals, my favorite across the board, across all 4 categories, even though I don't really watch Dance and Pairs, is Junwan. Junwan is probably, I wouldn't say he's my favorite skater, because there she was flamboyant, but after those two, he's probably my favorite. And I'm so happy he made it to the finals. And he did so with Jason's help, which was really nice. Like, Jason just yeah, the TCC is just powerful, okay? But Junwan, what can I say? I just love him. I'm a little bit biased here. Junwan probably has my favorite short program of the season. I feel really bad for saying that because Odanel is just really, really good, but I haven't watched Odanel as many times as I've watched Junwan's short program. I mean, they're close. They were 2 very different programs. That's what I'm gonna say about those. But Junwan just this season has grown so much, and it's really hitting me how good he is, because he's always had the potential, and he even showed a lot of it last season. Because I just went back to watch his Olympic programs and just rewatch all of the Olympics while I was there. But damn, he's just improved so much. And his Salchow is getting steadier and steadier. I'm really, really rooting for him. Like, if he could win the entire thing, I would literally not be opposed, but it's not gonna happen. But I think, he's not the only person who has a perfect record this season. Both Nathan and Shoma has that as well. But it'd be nice to see him on that podium. I won't lie. I love him. Keegan Messing. I love Keegan Messing. I think he's fun. I think he has fun programs. He really lights up the room. If you've seen him live, you really know what I'm talking about. But Keegan is super inconsistent. Because here's my thing. If Keegan skates clean, I'm so sure he'll end up with bronze. I think that if every single person skates clean, I think the podium should be Shoma, Nathan, and Keegan. But Keegan is literally the most inconsistent person of these 6, in my experience at the very least. So I don't know where to put him. However, I really love him. I think he, because a lot of people don't like this, like the very storytelling style. No matter how you do it, the only person who really gets praised for the kind of like storytelling time is Javi, which is a little unfair, just because Javi is, one of the best skaters in the world. But I love his skating, and I really, really hope to see some really good skating from him. But I have a feeling, especially, well, I don't know, because he did really well at Skate Canada, and I don't know if skating at home fuels him or puts pressure on him. It's like, because I haven't seen enough of him to really know. And especially now, because he also has the title of the best man in Canada, and he's also here because Yuzu withdrew. It's like he didn't make it there by himself, and I'm sure that's gonna put like some kind, I don't know if it's gonna be pressure or like a relief, like, oh, I made it, like I thought I wouldn't, but now I'm happy I'm here, or if it's gonna be like, oh, I came here, I wasn't really good enough to qualify, but now I'm here and I have to prove myself. I don't know. I don't know what's going through a skater's head. So he's in an interesting situation, because he's skating at home, but he wasn't qualified, and inconsistency, I don't know. But this is almost 40 minutes. My official prediction for the men will be, and be ready for the bias here, Shoma Uno in first, Nathan Chen in second, and Junwan Cha in third. However, as I said, I think if we see clean Keegan Messing, I think he will get third. With Nathan and Shoma, it's like a toss-up. My thing with Nathan is, and this is the reason, like the big reason, not just because I like Shoma more as a skater, but Nathan, I think there are 2 paths he can take for the finals. Keep his technical content, like, on the lower end, like, don't go for the 5-6 quads that he did last season, and keep it, like, to 3 or 4 in the free skate. Which would put his base value under Shoma's, I think, but with a higher chance of, not failing. That's the path I would want him to take, because I'd rather see him skate clean than I would want to see him, like, fall on a quad, and then still win. Like, I'd rather see him skate clean and get silver than fall on a quad, because I want Nathan to get that consistency. Because if he can get consistent with his quads, it's easier for him to work on the presentation. And it's easier for him to work on the transitions, and all those things that he needs to become, like, a skater that more people can enjoy seeing. And the thing is also, like, the thing that really kept Nathan down last season when it came to his quad consistency was the fact that he kept changing up his program. And with figure skating, a lot of it relies on muscle memory, and if you keep changing up the quads, you have to change the entries as well, because they're all different, and when you change that, just all the time, it becomes really inconsistent. So I really hope Nathan learned from that, and especially now that he doesn't have Raph by his side all the time, I hope he keeps to a, not necessarily a simplified program, but just a program that he's more comfortable with, and a program that stays consistent. Like, okay, sure, he can alternate between the triple flip and quad flip, but at least don't, like, because especially with his short program last season, it was like, oh, is he gonna do a toe on a flip, or a toe on a Lutz, or a Lutz on the flip, and it's like, which one is gonna be in combination. And I know he changed the triple axel, like, placement, like he moved it from being the first jumping pass to the last jumping pass, and it was just all jumbled up, and it's hard to establish a solid program when you keep moving your jumps around. So I really, really hope he learns from that, because this season, if I remember correctly, what he's mostly just done is just upgrade triples to quads. Like, he's not changed, like, the type of jump and where they are. But I hope he keeps that up, because I feel like it's important for him to get the consistent programs out and then work on the not jump things, because even in the technical side, there's so much you can improve on. I would love to see better spins from Nathan, especially his camel spins could really use some work. And I feel like they're not using his flexibility enough in the spins there, and he could improve his steps. He has a lot of two-footed skating. There isn't a big variety of just basic skating. It's a lot of crossovers. And the thing is, Shoma has a lot of these issues as well. But he has more transitions. He makes crossovers look much better than any other person. It's like, if any other person had 40 crossovers in the free skate, you get so bored, but Shoma is like, whatever. But of course, that should hold his skating skill down. But I still feel like, just like on the basic level, the only thing that Nathan really beats Shoma on is just sound jumping technique. Where Shoma's, like, his toe jumps are obviously a little iffy. Like, he doesn't do the Lutz anymore. Like, at this point, he's just understood he doesn't understand what a Lutz is, so he doesn't use it. Then there is the obvious problems with his flip. His toe is good. The loop is also a gone. The quad, at least, is a gone element. His axle is great, and his Salchow is also great. But that, it's basically, he has 3 jumps that are really good, and then he has 2 he doesn't use anymore, and 1 that's super iffy. But that's also just a trap for Nathan, because Nathan knows that he has the edge over Shoma when it comes to jump content. But Shoma has the edge when it comes to the components, so it's like, it really lies in Nathan. I just really hope he chooses not necessarily the safe route with just having not higher technical content, but just like the route that's smarter, I think. Just because I really want to see him improve, and he has improved. Like, again, the short program is excellent, but it could be better, and the free skate especially could be better. There's so much not going on in that free skate, and a lot of the men have this issue because they took the 30 seconds, but because we already had Nathan struggling with putting in content in the free skate, you just see it even more with him. And Shoma, like, his free skate has consistently gotten better throughout the season, so I'm sure we're going to see something really good from him. Well, yeah, I'm going to be rooting for Jinwan. Just casually. But yeah, that's going to be it. This is 45 minutes long. I'm so sorry. But yeah, whatever. If you liked anything I had to say, you can leave a like. Leave in the comments below what your predictions for the Grand Prix finalists. Who are you rooting for also? Like, because you could root for one person and think someone else will win. Because obviously I'll be rooting for Kaori and Jinwan, but those are not my finalists. Like, one of them is not even on the podium. But whatever. Yeah, and you can subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, bye.